Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the two-game Olympic basketball slate on Saturday. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. Also making videos for PGA, Daily Fantasy Sports, and NBA Top Shot. If you're unable to watch my YouTube videos, I also upload an Apple Podcast. I'll have a link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, 3 different packages: an NFL package with the season starting up very soon, preseason right around the corner; NBA package, which includes Olympic basketball and Summer League, which is coming up in about a week; and then an esports package. It includes Call of Duty and CSGO. And finally, I want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring this episode. So, if you guys are not familiar with PrizePicks, 2 different ways you can play. Number 1 is you take over/under on fantasy points. So PrizePicks will post players and their fantasy scores, and again, you either take the over or the under. So let's see, is there any that I like on this board? They have 7 posted. I would say lean to the over on both Japan guys, and it's a minutes thing, right? Both those guys are going to play basically the entire game. I think 36 minutes for Rui and Yuta last game, which is massive. You know, on these Olympic slates, usually the stars play high 20s, maybe low 30s. These Japan guys are basically out there the entire time. And then another way you can play is single stats. So you can take over, under, and straight up points, assists, rebounds, if you prefer that option. Again, I like it. It's a nice change of pace because you're not playing against someone, you're just playing against a house. So if you guys want to try it out, you can sign up. Use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You'll get a 100% match up to $100. Basically, put $100 in, you'll get a free $100 to play with. And finally, I just want to thank you guys again for all your support on Twitter, on YouTube, the live streams. Really, really do appreciate each and every one of you. If you could, leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and you know when live. Unfortunately, not being able to do a live stream today. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to get back to you on Twitter. And let's try to aim for 100 likes on this video, guys. All right. So before we talk about players and their prices for this 2-game slate, we can look back my lineup here from the 4-game slate on Friday. So it went really, really well for me. Here, I'll show you, where is this one? So finished 4th in the $33 tournament. It was about a 4x day for me, a little more than 4x, so a really, really solid all around. So let's go over my lineup. Patty Mills, M. James, Jordan Nwora, Yabusele, Nicholas K, Satoransky, Durant, and Landale. So one thing that changed after I made my video was Aaron Baines got ruled out, right? So once we got that news, I was super high on both K and Landale because the minutes were just secure for them. They were already producing with Baines out there, and or with Baines on the court. With Baines out, that was just more minutes for them. So really liked double punting at center with K, Landale. The other guy I liked was Baldwin, so I said, pick 2 of those 3 guys. Spend ups, used Patty Mills, who was pretty solid, Satoransky, and then Kevin Durant. Durant was the one USA guy I felt the most comfortable with if I was going to spend up. So he had a really, really solid game for 45 fantasy points. And then value. So I didn't watch this game. M. James only played 12 minutes while the other starters played massive minutes. Can you guys tell me, did he get injured? Again, I was not watching that game, so I don't know. I assume he got injured because other games, he was playing like mid to high 20s, even 30 minutes in game 1. So I'm guessing he got injured, which is a little bit tilting. Nwora here was the chalk of the chalk, and then Yabusele kind of just fit. But yeah, had a couple other members right up here, Matt, Cody with me, and then Ryan as well. So we had 4 of the top 6 people in the $33 tournament were Patreon members. So congrats to you guys. And let's see if we can keep it rolling here for this 2-game slate. All right, so let's talk about the Vegas odds really quick. Here, let me refresh this because that's still on yesterday. I'm guessing the Slovenia one's going to be very high. Okay, yeah, 178. So Japan, Argentina is a 167.5 over under. Argentina only 9.5 point favorites, and Slovenia and Spain a 178 over under. Slovenia are 3.5 point favorites. This game should be really, really good. I might try to watch that in the middle of the night. We'll see. But all right, so let's start off with Japan. And I hinted, I like going over on Watanabe and Rui for fancy points on PrizePicks. And again, it's the minutes for both these guys. So Watanabe, 36 minutes each the last couple of games. He's a do-it-all guy. Went for 19, 8, 3, and 5 game 1, 17, 7, 2, and 2. Again, a good defender, can get those peripheral stats. A good rebounder, is going to handle the ball a decent amount, even though Hemless is a power forward. I really like Ryuta, and I really like Rui Hachimura too. So Rui game 1 kind of was an outlier performance, was a little bit score independent, 20 points, 2 boards, 1 assist. Next game he picked it up in a big way, 34 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. I will say probably Yuta's going to do a little bit better with the peripheral stats, but I think Rui is going to be their primary scorer. He shot 21, 28 times the first couple games here, so I really do like both the Japan guys. If I had to go for a lean, maybe a small lean to Rui since he's a little bit cheaper. But I will say I think Rui is going to be much more popular this slate than Yuta. So if you want to go for lower ownership and you have the salary, just go to Yuta Watanabe. Now, could you play both these guys together? It's possible, but it's going to be near impossible to play these two and Luka together. I kind of mess with it. So I'll just show you guys right now. So if you go both the Japan guys and Luka Doncic, it's going to be, again, very, very tough. Let's go to Slovenia. 3.3K remaining, right? Almost impossible. There's a couple guys, below that salary that you can go, but, you'll probably be taking a zero with 1 or even 2 guys. So don't know if that's going to be necessary. But yeah, back to Japan. So again, I really do like both these spend ups. Now, Gavin Edwards, so keep an eye on news. I did a Twitter search. I haven't found anything. He injured his shoulder in that second game early in the second half, didn't return. So, if we get starting lineup news and he's not in the starting lineup, my guess is he's out. So that would be pretty significant for some value here for Japan. Now, if he is in the starting lineup and is playing, I think it's a fair play. I don't love the salary, but I think he would play mid-20s minutes. Would probably be their number 3 guy in offense. A decent rebounder is their big. And I will say, too, Argentina is a bigger team, right, with D'Elia, Luis Scola. So Gavin Edwards might play a little bit more. So again, monitor that if he is in. If he's out, we'll talk about a couple other guys here. So Baba's at 6.3K, had a solid game 1, struggled game 2, was in a little bit of foul trouble. If there's no Gavin Edwards, my guess is he plays a little bit more. I just don't love the price point, right? He's not a super productive guy. Let's see. So Schaefer is one guy that if Gavin Edwards is out, he could see his role increased, right? 16 to 11 minutes first couple games. He's their backup center. But again, if there's no Gavin Edwards, he might start. So that's what I say. Monitor the starting lineup. It's very important. So this game is at 12:40 Eastern, 11:40 Central. Make sure if you're playing DFS tonight, you stay up or you set an alarm to wake up right before this, because I think the starting lineup is going to be huge. Again, if there's no Gavin Edwards and Schaefer starts, I think Schaefer's a really solid value play there, 4.1K. There's a couple other guys we can mention here. So Togashi came off the bench. He's like, I think the shortest player in the Olympics for basketball, but he's actually pretty good. A good score, 10 and 15 fantasy points the first couple games. I think he plays mid-teens minutes. Fair value, but might prefer a couple other cheaper guards here. One being Tanaka. Liked him last night. Like him again. Again, he's not like the best point per minute guy, but he is their point guard. He'll handle the ball a decent amount. He should play, low to mid-20s minutes. 23 and 24 minutes. 3.5K is cheap, so I think Tanaka is one of the better values in the slate. And then Hiejima, a little bit tilted about it. I played him game 1, only played 10 minutes, didn't do anything. Fade him game 2, goes off in 19 minutes. But yeah, he's a good shooter. He's not really going to do a ton of the peripheral stats. Again, very, very cheap. I would think plays maybe in between 10 and 20 minutes. So mid-teens, I think, is a fair guess for his minutes. And again, 3.1K is super, super cheap. So yeah, definitely some options here for Japan for value. Again, Tanaka, Hiejima, Togashi's interesting. And then again, Schaefer, monitor Gavin Edwards. Now, if Gavin Edwards is out and they change up and they don't have Schaefer and they move someone else in, then out of a little bit interested in who moves in the starting lineup. So again, I think keep an eye on that is going to be key for the slate. Let's move on to Argentina. So Argentina, Composo, Scolo, Deck at the top, 9.8, 9K, 8.2K. All three had really solid game 1s. All three kind of had a letdown game in game 2. And it's because Laprovitola really took over. So yeah, Scola, 29 minutes, 17 fancy points. Gabriel Deck came off the bench, played 28 minutes, was a little bit disappointing. And it was Laprovitola who had a really, really big game. Now, I did mention last video for this, I was like, hey, he played really bad in 14 minutes. He is a guy that is talented, and he came back in a big way over 32 minutes and 39 fantasy points. Now, I think both games are outliers here, right? Game 1 was outlier in a bad way. He played awful. Game 2 was outlier in a very good way. I think it's going to be somewhere in between 39 and 12 fantasy points and probably somewhere in between 32 and 14 minutes. My guess for Laprovitola is I think we see mid-20s minutes and probably 20 to 25 fantasy points. I think it's a pretty fair guess. So And these four kind of going to be the top guys here in offense. I think the stars here like Composo, Scola, Deck are going to go pretty unowned. I think the chalk build is going to be like Luka and one of those Japan guys. So I think that's just going to lower the ownership on these Argentina guys. But again, they still have upside. We saw it all with all three in game one. Even though they let down games game two, that doesn't mean it's going to happen again. So a little bit of interest in these three for contrarian spend ups. Again, Laptop Tola is probably going to be one of the more popular plays of the big game last game. And I think he's a solid point per dollar play there at 6.8K. D'Elia 5.2 for value. Did play 25 minutes last game. I mentioned, I was like, hey, I think he plays a little bit more because of Spain front court. Now, what I'm a little bit worried about here is Japan can play small, right? If Gavin Edwards is out, they don't really have a ton of bigs besides Schaefer. So maybe D'Elia's minutes get cut a little bit. He's not the best point per guy. I think he's just a fair play. Veldoza was the chalk last slate. He only played 16 minutes after 23 game one. I think we're going to get high teens to low 20s minutes at 4.8K, fair value play. And then Brusino. So shooting guard is normally a pretty weak position. Once again, it's kind of weak today. 15, 25 minutes. Not the best point per guy, but you can expect some solid run from him, and he's almost mid price. So yeah, definitely some value here we can look to for Argentina. Again, Brusino, Veldoza, D'Elia, and spend ups left for Tola is probably the most popular. But if you want to go to contrarian spend up like Deck, Scola, Composo, I think that's fine. I wouldn't expect more than 30 minutes from them, but all three are going to be pretty productive, even though they had let down games in game two. All right, moving on to Slovenia and Spain. So Slovenia, Luka Doncic. I don't think we're going to spend a ton of time here. I think you guys know what to do. He got in some foul trouble last game. Also, it was a blowout. Only played 26 minutes, went for 53 fantasy points. So, again, this game's to be played super fast. So Slovenia just pushes the pace. So, even at 12-9, I think he is, once again, the best spend up in the slate. Now, secondary options here for Slovenia. We have Toby, Kanchar, Dragic, Blazic at the top. If I'm going to go to a secondary star here for Slovenia, once again, it's going to be Mike Toby. Oops. Sorry about that. So 28, 27 minutes the first couple games here. 31, 25 fantasy. Again, they like running the pick and roll with him and Luka Doncic. And he's a good rebounder. Again, 14, 11 rebounds. He can block some shots. I think he's an interesting contrarian spend up. Again, with what I think everyone's going to go to is, one of the Japan spend ups in Luka. These other stars are going to go pretty unowned. Like the Argentina guys, Toby. I think this, Ricky Rubio is going to go pretty low owned. So you can definitely make a contrarian lineup today. And Kanchar, Dragic, Blazic just feel a little bit pricey. Now, Goran Dragic's brother had a really good game, game two, 26 minutes, shot 10 of 13. Again, I think that was more of an outlier. I don't know if I want to spend 8K for Zoran Dragic. Propolic intrigues me here. So he's like a high usage guy off the bench. He's going to handle the ball a decent amount. He's a really good shooter. Shot 8 times in game one, 15 times in game two. Again, we saw 5 assists in game two. 31 and 25 fantasy points. I think he's a pretty solid play in the mid-range. I do like me some Propolic. Let's see. Rupnik is too pricey for me. Ido Miric is fair. Again, small forward, like shooting guard, pretty weak. 16 minutes first couple of games. Not the best point per guy. I mean, really not super aggressive on the offensive end. But I think he's playable for value. And the last guy I'll mention here is Ziga Dimic. So he saw his minutes cut last game. Or did he play 8 minutes? I thought he played less than that for some reason. He didn't come back in the second half, I'm pretty sure. Maybe he only came back at like the very end. Now, Spain is a very big team, right? They have the Gasol bros, Hernan Gomez. So I would think when Toby is off the court that Dimic is going to be out there. So how many minutes does Toby play, right? I would say high 20s. So I would think that Dimic gets the rest. So let's just say Toby plays 28. Then I would think Dimic plays 12. So if that is the case, I think Dimic is an intriguing value play. He's a big, is a good rebounder, can get some putbacks, is really, really cheap, and I think plays a little bit more than 8 minutes this game. So obviously he's risky, not going to play a ton, but I think he's somebody you can look to as a salary relief play. All right, let's finish up with Spain here. So Ricky Rubio, again, I think will be pretty low on because of the minutes. Now, minutes went up a little bit for him, 22, 25 minutes. He has been super productive. 20 points, 9 assists, 2 boards, and 26 points, 5 boards, 4 assists. So yes, the minutes aren't going to be as high, but I'm still good to go to Ricky Rubio. Right? If you want to play him over one of those Japan guys, I'm not going to talk you off him, and he should come in at much lower ownership too. Now, the risk, obviously, is he's just not going to play a ton of minutes. Spain really spreads out the minutes, but I still think Ricky Rubio is a very solid spend up. Now, the next tier for Spain, once again, I'm going to stay away from Victor Claver. Marcus Sol's too pricey. Fernandez is too pricey. Again, Spain plays a ton of guys, so it just doesn't make sense to go to anyone in this range, really. Again, I will mention it for the third time. Do not play Juancho Hernangomez. He is not on the team, so make sure if you're playing a Hernangomez, you play Guillermo, who's actually on the team and will play some minutes. Again, Lowell's too pricey. Now we get to some values. So Pau Gasol and below is where I have some interest in. So Pau Gasol, 5.8K. Not going to play a ton. 14, 17 minutes. I would think gets around 15 minutes. Now, he is going to be a good point per minute guy when he's out there. So I think he is a fair play. Now, the price is up a little bit, but still viable. So I do have some interest in Pau Gasol. Hernangomez won't play as much, but also a good point per minute guy. Is a little bit cheaper than Pau Gasol, but I think I would still give a lean to Pau because of the minutes over Hernangomez. Now, Alex Abrines was the chalk last night because shooting guard was really weak. He played 29 minutes. Now, he kind of got bailed out for people that played him. 3 steals, 2 blocks. He is super reliant in scoring. Did not have a good shooting game. Only had 3 points and 2 boards. So there is a risk with Alex Abrines. However, I would think he plays over 20 minutes. He was averaging over 20 minutes in the exhibition games. Again, what I want to mention with Abrines is if he is not hitting shots, he has a pretty low floor. Like, he got bailed out for the people that played him with 3 steals and 2 blocks. That is not going to happen again. So Abrines, there is a risk with it, being reliant on the scoring. But again, the minutes will be there for him. That is a positive. Sergio Rodriguez, once again, I like at 3.9K. Not going to play a ton, 18 and 15 minutes, but will be productive off the bench. Again, was formerly in the NBA. He'll handle the ball. When Rubio's not out there, he's going to be the point guard. I think Rodriguez is, once again, one of the better value plays on the board. And finally, I'll mention Usman Garuba. Did get drafted in the NBA draft. He played 9 minutes first couple of games. He's a decent point per minute guy. Again, there's not a ton of great value below 3.5K. So he's one of those guys you can consider as a salary relief play. All right, and that's basically going to do it for the video today, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate if you hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos, and when I'm live. And again, unfortunately, no live stream today, but let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll try to get back to you on Twitter. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video.